Hello, I'm Scott Flowers from Cloud Ninjas, and today we're here to talk about Dell PowerEdge R810 server memory. For starters, the R810 has 32 memory slots. There are 4 CPUs, meaning there are 8 DIMMs per CPU. There are 4 memory channels per CPU, meaning you have 2 DIMMs per memory channel. With the R810, you're allowed to use one type of memory. In the future gens, you can use load-reduced memory, but with the R810, you are using ECC Registered memory. You can max out at 1 terabyte, loading all 32 slots with 32 gigabyte modules. Now, the difference in the max is the speed, and that depends on the CPU you use. If you use E7 procs, then you can use 10600, also known as 1333 megahertz. But if you're using the 6500 or 7500 Intel series CPUs, then you are using an 8500 module, also known as 1066. When you're using a 1066, this is going to be a quad rank module, which makes it great that you're only using 2 DIMMs per memory channel because you can load it all the way up. This is a problem that you will find with its brother, the R710, that it struggles with quad rank memory. Well, let's move forward. Let's open her up and let's check out the inside. Let's put on our ESD gear first and let's get rolling. Now that we have our ESD gear on, we are safe to open the machine and not shock any of the parts or the motherboard inside. So the way to open is really simple. First things first is make sure that the latch is set to unlock. Simply pop the latch open and remove the top. Once you're in, you will notice that the air shroud or the air baffle is covering the modules, or are covering the modules, and is flush with all of the heat sinks and the fans. This is to provide ideal air circulation to keep all the modules cool and not overheated. So to get to the modules, to replace them or to upgrade them is fairly simple. You're going to remove the air shroud, and you will notice that not all of the slots are currently accessible. So you're going to need to take these 2 tabs, push them in, and then forward. Now I want to note before I continue that you have multiple cables. Now Dell has set it up so that there's some flexibility and you should be able to move it all the way, but be very careful, especially with this blue cable, because it is stretched to the max. Now you are set where you are able to get your fingers under, but you definitely need to be very careful. I feel like with this machine you definitely need to be a little bit gentler than some of the other Dell systems. Okay, so we currently have 8 16 gigs in here. With 32 slots, you definitely need to be maxing it out. The whole point of the R810 is to treat it like a hoss of a machine, so you really want to load all the slots. We definitely recommend using 32 gigs and getting a full terabyte in here, as that is the best way to maximize the projects that you are using, and you'll get better performance. Now, to remove the modules is very simple. You need to make sure that you are paying attention to the memory channels. So you will notice that the slots are going white, black, white, black. That is the 2 DIMMs per memory channel. The white is the start of the memory channel. You need to be careful because the very first DIMM is on the right side, but it actually flips over to the left side. It's very easy to tell because the motherboard is actually labeled so you can see which slots you are in. If you aren't maxing this out, as you see right now with the configuration we have 1 DIMM in each one of the beginning slots of the memory channel. This is the proper way to configure if you are not loading up all 32 slots. Okay, now the easiest way to remove the modules is to simply pop them open and you can pull them out. You will notice there is a key or a notch in the middle of the DIMM. This is to prevent you from loading the wrong type of RAM. If you were to load a desktop unbuffered module, the notch is actually in a different slot and you would not be able to insert it, as Dell is smart enough to make sure that the user does not shock the board with the wrong type of parts. You also will notice that the DDR4 or DDR2 slots are in a different position as well, so you would not physically be able to load the wrong type of RAM. Okay? So pretend this is a new module and we're loading it up now. You simply just need to line up your slot properly and then gently insert it in. Now I always push down just a little bit, push the tab in, push down a little bit, push the tab in, and voila. It's very simple to get into. All I recommend is just to be very, very careful with the cables. That's the biggest key here. Outside of that, it's the same as loading really any other server that you've been in. Okay? Well, thank you for stopping by today. If you have any questions or if you're looking to upgrade your R810, please reach out to us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. And thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day.